Welcome to Learn English through film scenes. In today's video, we'll learn phrasal verbs to talk about size and numbers with fun examples from TV shows and series. Stick around till the end for a practice exercise to test your skills. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more fun English lessons. Let's get started. Build up. Definition: increase in amount, size, or strength, or make something increase. For example, Paula has been doing a lot of long-distance running to try to build up her stamina.
Prozac takes several weeks to build up effective levels in the blood.
Okay, so ordinarily I say you should take the time to build up trust with your subject, right?
If what you say about the Soviets is true, we have to build up Los Alamos, not shut it down.
I'm going to prescribe a regimen of vitamins, as well as the mineral zinc, to build up your immune system.
You know that Rasputin would take a dose of arsenic with breakfast each morning to build up his tolerance.
Don't worry, we'll build up to it, step by step.
Couldn't we just build up the weak spot?
Pork chops, sloppy joes, hot dogs, and pork chops!
Well, Dr. Hibbert said you have to build up your strength.
Chris, before you go on a cruise, you gotta build up a base tan.
But, Dad, I heard that if you use tanning beds, you could get something called melanoma.
And then he gets mad.
Of course, since the greenhouse gases are still building up, it takes more and more ice each time.
Bump up. Definition: increase the size or amount of something by a large amount. For example, hotels in this town always bump their prices up when the film festival is on.
Bump up the energy.
She had to bump up from 100 to 200 an hour to get you to do this.
Guess you could call it a bump up in human evolution.
Get off the street, bump up the pay grade. About 15 years and I'm out.
We have a procreation mandate to bump up the population by the end of the year.
Bump up your salary to 65.
An agitation brings a slight bump up in whiskey sales, but sale of cunt plummets.
All right, let's bring it in, make it twice as tight, bump up the lighting, and get those kids out of there.
This year, and brass fixtures, those always bump up the value of a property.
That certainly would bring some publicity to the area, bump up tourism.
Round up. Definition: increase a number to the nearest whole number. For example, the taxi fare came to €29.25, but we rounded it up and gave the driver €30.
Round it up to 50? Let's round it up and call it 2 years.
If you take a closer look, all of these accounts here, the decimal number is rounded up to an even number.
But I can say what I want up here, so just round it up to 60.
You can't keep rounding it up.
Although I would prefer you round it up to 10.
You can round it up to 8.
Yeah, well, I'll round it up to 30K.
Push up. Definition: increase the amount, number, or value of something. For example, the TV series about Caitlin Cliff's pottery pushed up the value of her work.
This company that had effectively been attacked by an army of investors trying to push up and press up the stock of GameStop.
Push up your price.
No, I'm gonna push it up 25 miles an hour.
We could figure out a way to push it up to 88 miles an hour.
Put on. Definition: if a person or animal puts on weight, they become heavier. For example, Bobby's put on 6 kilos since he stopped playing football.
He said, I didn't recognize you put on a lot of weight.
Did you find you put on a lot of weight since?
Definitely has a lot of secrets, and I think he's put on some weight.
I'm not really sure what to do here. Boy, you put on weight, Jackie Chan.
Mara tells me to put on 5 pounds every time I come over, right?
You're Mel Gibson?
Yes, I've put on a few pounds for my next role. I play Peter Griffin, a heroic warrior who defied the English to free England from the English.
Hi. There's something I've been meaning to ask you. Did you put on a little weight this week?
Oh, well, I put on a lot of weight over Christmas.
I'll need to have a further period of convalescence. Put on some weight.
Well, I feel like I've put on 5 pounds since we got here.
Amount to. Definition: become a particular amount. For example, when we added living costs to the fees, the cost of the course amounted to €34.
Out of 24,000 gallons, it'll only amount to about 4% dilution, so.
Listen, my dad always used to say you have to work really hard at life, otherwise you will amount to nothing.
Still keep thinking about how an entire life can seemingly amount to nothing.
If she would have kept it, it would have amounted to $360,000.
But I'm just going to add the appropriate amount to your gambling debt and forget we ever had this conversation.
Which amounted to 180 burn deaths a year in the U.S.
You get the exact amount to cover Donna's salary, and you take it out of my paycheck.
I wound up paying his medical bills, which amounted to a little over $177,000.
High school, my old man said I was wasting my time and I'd never amount to anything.
We know that most thefts in Dayton amount to hours or days.
That would have amounted to millions, which would have eventually gone to Barbara.
Add up. Definition. Increase and become a large number or amount. For example, bringing up children is an expensive business. Clothes, shoes, food, toys, it all adds up.
I know it's weird to see a mask and teeth and shit, but it all adds up.
Had his wife ready to testify against him, and then she's found with her brains blown out, gun in her hand. Nothing adds up except his lawyers.
Everything you conceal, every lie you tell, it adds up.
Unless I'm supposed to eat them. Of course it all adds up. Ow! Oh, dear God, I've lost a tooth.
Dude, you're lucky.
Every detail adds up to something.
It's just a misguided effort of mine to create a morally neutral super leader by combining the DNA of Adolf Hitler and Abraham Lincoln. Turns out it just adds up to a lame, weird...
And we get extra pages for being married, like a basic housing allowance and separation pay, which adds up to be pretty decent, and we could split it and everybody wins.
Every detail adds up to something.
It adds up to a bright future all around.
I mean, he works hard, you know? I mean, the work is much harder when you know the project is no good. Still, all those small paychecks must add up.
Round down. Definition. Reduce to the nearest whole number. For example, the figures were rounded down.
If you round down, I have 0 billion.
Well, actually 337.4, but they round it down in the record book.
Or we could round down to 20, take the extra 0.2, sell it to our friend.
The dealers round down, so they pocket the extra.
It might have been 42, but I rounded down.
Like, if you round down, there are 0 of us.
I rounded it down to 0 because I feel like it's 0.
I suppose I assumed, as in mathematics, that the number would be rounded down to 24.
Now it's time to practice. Check the exercise on the screen and write your answers in the comments below. I'll be checking them. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. See you in the next video.